that's like on Netflix when they say, "What movies do you like?" It's a trap. Because the second you tell Netflix what movies you like, you're gonna get recommended a whole lot of movies that you don't fucking like.
Because you like Yu Yu Hakusho, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. What? No! How did you come to that conclusion?
That's
Well, they're
basically
both
how I go.
animated, ain't they?
Right. It's a cartoon with a superpowered protagonist and it's the because I'm a wizard. I had to do it because it's so fucking stupid. He ain't said it in a minute. Everybody wondering, what the fuck is that? Chris Jericho is still wrestling for all my wrestling heads that don't watch, or all my people who don't watch wrestling. Still wrestling on AEW, always reinventing, always coming up with new catchphrases. That was one of his catchphrases for a minute. Because he was saying, going around talking about I throw fireballs in people's faces and talk about how did I do it, I'm a wizard. Now, obviously, anybody that knows a little bit about magic, he has something called flash paper, which is a piece of paper that the second you light it, it goes up like a flame. And if you look real quick, he just knows how to light and ditch it. But he ain't telling nobody, which is kind of funny. Anyway, so he would say, how you do the fireball? Because I'm a wizard.
Well, yeah, he started doing it when he started doing his sports entertainer character.
Which I love it. Anyway.
So he needed a gimmick because he's a sports entertainer.
This is the Whatever We Want podcast. For those of y'all who are wondering, hey, who are these two fellow nappy-headed gentlemen who are standing directly at me? Like I said, the Whatever We Want podcast, and I am one of your hosts. I go by the name of Superjaz.
Superjaz.
I got him while he was taking a sip. My bad. Or you can call me Superjaz, SJ, Jazz, JT, whatever you want, what have you, in the like. And as always, the show is not a one-man show, although last week may have you thinking otherwise. But I am joined by the otherwise from last week, the other host of the show.
Y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube, occasionally referred to as Pete on the show.
And yes, as I always say, or we always say now, according to last week, this is the Whatever We Want podcast where we do just that. We do not lead this conversation. This conversation leads us, and we let these chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. You wait for me to say something. No, I'm done. Yeah.
Well, you can say anything.
You wait for me to say something. I'm done.
Yeah, you could have just started with the first topic of the show, too.
No, but you thought I was going to say the, let the chips fall where they may continuation thing.
Ah.
You weren't?
No. I was just like, all right, so what are we going to talk about?
I tried to fuck with you. You weren't even thinking about it. All right. Okay. Speaking of wrestling, if I can get serious for a moment, I don't know if you see my social media, Pete. But
I see, like...
If you all can kind of see...
Oh, you're trying to show that. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, you got hit on the chest?
Yes. Okay, so... Normally, we obviously don't bare skin on the show, but anybody listening, just listening, there's a bruise on my chest. And the reason why we're able to record this today, we were able to record earlier than expected, but now we're recording where we would have anyway. It's because I had today and yesterday off unexpectedly. Now, the reason how, because normally I work nights, I cook, whatever. That's why I say I don't know if you saw my Facebook.
I did not.
At the end of the day, I'm good, but now my brother was like, "Why are you putting your business up?" I don't mind putting this shit up. So I'm gonna tell the story, right? So on my way to work, my car had been making weird noises for a minute. Excuse me, got flu in my throat. Car been making weird noises for a minute. I should have been got it looked at. I didn't get it looked at. Dragging my feet. Well, it's not that bad. So since it's not that bad, I don't need to go ahead and hurry up and spend money on it now. And then of course, not spend money on it now turns into 1 month, 2 months, you know, three
Yeah.
months, whatever the fuck. Next thing I know, I got driving to work yesterday. Got to be there at 3. I leave at 2:30 because it takes about a half hour. And I hear my muffler was messed up, so I'm hearing. I would always hear like a little bit of rumble, but now I'm hearing like a scraping, crazy ass noise, and I'm like, I can't drive with this shit. So about a minute into driving, I pull over like off to the side of the road. I'm like, what the fuck? I look underneath. I call work. I tell them, yo, I'm about to be late. I'm having car trouble. Okay. I had some wire in the back of my ride, and I pull over. I jacked it up. My muffler is hanging. Right now, muffler is not super duper important, but it's important enough to the function of a car, especially the noise. But just period, it muffles. That's why they call it a muffler. So I had some wire in the back of my ride for whatever reason. I remember getting for some electrical shit a while ago. So I grabbed the shit, try to rig it up where I can tie the muffler. Because my thing was, no matter how late I am, even if I get to work an hour late, I'm still gonna get to work, do what I got to do. Then the next day, which would have been today, I'll just hurry up, take my car in, or at least get it back in front of my place, and I'll catch the bus until I can get my car looked at. So it's basically, I was trying to just get to work, even if it was super duper slow. Okay. So I try rigging it up. I jacked it up. I get into the car, try rigging it up. Okay, I get it up to where it's good enough. Good enough. Okay. Start driving. About another 30 seconds to a minute, shit scraping again. I'm like, fuck. Oh man. Okay, I'm really about to be late. Okay, I'm sorry, work. Really, really about to be late. My bad. Like, oh, here's a Quick Trip. For y'all who don't know, depending on where you live, Quick Trip is a chain of gas stations in St. Louis. I think particularly in the Midwest. Okay, so
Probably sounds about right. We
yeah,
got like
Wawa,
racetrack down here, which is similar.
and like Wawa is like big. Some places.
Wawa is huge down here, but with a similar aesthetic to Quick Trip is racetrack for me. I get Quick Trip vibes from it down here.
The one thing I'll say about Quick Trip that I think other big gas station chains do, but I'm not sure. The one thing about Quick Trip is they design every Quick Trip the exact same. Like the teas are always in this section. The sodas are always in this section. The chips are all so every Quick Trip, no matter where you go into, everything is exactly where you're used to it being.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of crazy but cool that they do it that way. Anyway, so I pull over to the Quick Trip and I'm like, shit, this shit hanging again. Fuck. Okay, I'm really about to be late, but I'm still gonna go to work. I don't want to have to miss out on this money, but at the same time, my car fucked up. Also, I get I get it fixed. I do what I gotta do. So I grab my little jack out. The jack, every car comes with a stock donut, tire, BS tire for you to change the tire, and a stock jack. And the jack and the donut is usually bullshit, but it's enough to get by. Okay. So I jacked the tire up and I'm trying to, reconfigure the wire because the wire still got the muffler, but it's still hanging, so I can't do shit with it. So I'm underneath my car, trying to do this shit, rig this shit up, and it felt like when they say shit happens in slow motion. Somehow I scooted, I wiggled, and I hit the fucking jack, and the car went down on me. And I was pinned under my fucking ride. Like, pinned under my fucking ride.
Oh, God.
And, yeah, no, this is a very serious whatever you want. No, I was pinned under my ride. The first few seconds, I did not panic, but when I realized, like, oh, I'm really stuck, I called out for, like, help because I didn't know what to do. And about 7 people ran over. It's like 6 or 7 people ran over and lifted the car enough to where I could wiggle up.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like one of my first thoughts after I got out and caught my fucking breath one of my first thoughts, first thing I said was, "Can I hug all of y'all?" And I did, and they were good. And it was just like, as we get older, the more and more you live, the more you get jaded, the more you lose faith in humanity, shit like that. I remember talking with some of my friends one time, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm losing my faith in humanity," and everybody was like, this was a few years ago, and everybody was like, "Yeah, me too, me too, me too," like all like faith. But it's like, if people can band together to do something that makes no fucking sense, like lift a car off somebody, because that don't make no damn sense, but they do that enough, then they're still good people.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I felt good right away, but somebody was like, "You need to call 911. You need to get checked out because you were still under a car." Blah blah blah. I didn't call 911, but I did go to urgent care. They checked all my vitals. They gave me a saline drip. I got a CT scan so they could check my internal shit. Check like blood pressure. Listen to heart rate, all that shit. Everything came back normal as fuck. So yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. So yeah, about the lighthearted nature of the show. Nah, man. And I'm not working.
Lighthearted in the sense that it lets you with a positive outlook.
All right, I'm joking about lighthearted because
yes, I know it's not actually lighthearted. I'm just saying, like, I can do that to go with your joke. Like, okay.
What was I gonna say? This isn't the first podcast that I did with a friend where I recounted a traumatic, life-threatening event that happened to me. Oh, that's crazy. We don't do it anymore, but me and my boy, shout out to Darius, Be There Bionic. But we tried doing, I think we only had like 3 episodes. We tried doing the Out of Pocket podcast because everything we did was out of pocket.
All right.
And, right. And we recounted on one episode the details of us being held up at gunpoint. so now I was joking with my friends on the phone, and I was like, before I'm 35, I can say I got held up at gunpoint and I was pinned under a car.
All right.
What the fuck, man?
That's crazy.
And I'm not even 35, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. I've never had either of those things happen.
Thankfully, I hope that you like live a long, fruitful ass life, and they never do happen to you. And I'm dead serious.
I mean, same. I wish that you don't have to deal with those again, and I would have wished that they never happened to you as well.
Oh, I got to deal with them again either. Shit.
Well, I was about to say I would have wished that, but nah.
Oh yeah, you wanted to be like, oh, that never happened to you, but you can't say that now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's something. Like, I never thought I would be held up at gunpoint, but okay. I never fucking thought I'd be pinned under a car. That I never thought of that. Like, being held up at gunpoint, okay, that's a little more common. As much as you don't think that's gonna happen, unfortunately, you can see that happen.
Yeah.
You zig when you should zag. You go down the wrong turn. You do this, you do that, and you gotta, people see money.
Yeah.
Find guns. There you go.
Yep.
You don't think you're gonna be pinned under a fucking car?
No, that is not something I ever considered.
Yeah. And like I said, my brother Ibn was like, when he said, "Who all did you tell?" Because I told my friends, I told my dad. I haven't told my mom just because she's on vacation. I don't want to ruin her trip with her worrying when I'm fine. I'll tell her when she gets back. But I told some people close to me and shit. And then I put it on social media, and he was like, "Why did you put your business out there?" And I was like, "I don't mind telling people that this happened."
Yeah.
Do you think that's weird? Be honest. Do you think that's weird that I put on social media?
No, because people put everything on social media. It's like I took a shit and it looked like a devil. I didn't need to know that. I mean, there's Iron Sheik who literally just finds creative ways to say the same four things.
I don't know what's up with that dude. His Twitter is some of the best shit to follow just because.
Oh, it is. I recommend following that. I will always endorse that Twitter because it is a pillar of consistency in this crazy, chaotic world. You want to the old tried and true.
It is some of the most like incoherent, crazy, what the fuckness, but it is just like so funny because of how much it's what the fuck.
And it's just him, and especially once you get used to it, you just scroll it through, and then just laugh because wake me up before you go fuck yourself. And it's like,
what the? What makes me wonder sometimes is that really him typing that? Because if you see Iron Sheik, for y'all don't know, Iron Sheik, old school wrestler. When you see Iron Sheik in interviews now, he does say some fucking yo, bro. Are you good? Are you all there mentally? He does say some crazy shit. But what makes me wonder is that him typing is because of the phonetic spelling of how he talks. You know what I'm saying?
I guess. You think it's just and who knows about the like blue check marks and stuff like that? That's actually anything related to him stuff.
I believe it. I'm just
yeah. He may be him. It may be him sharing it with other people. Who knows? It could be. I have no idea. I'd like to just imagine it's him. And if it's not, even if it ain't the actual Iron Sheik, still follow the fucking Twitter. It is a very consistent Twitter. If you really and if all you care about is consistency, you can always follow the count. Like 3 or 4 days, he just posts another number. He's been counting.
Street, I'll follow him.
He's been counting for a long ass time.
I follow him. What is so funny about his thing though is, like you said, he's counting, but he doesn't type the number 187. He spells out ONEHUNDRED. Yeah, like he spells out the words 187. I think he's like...
He's in the thousands by now.
I'm about to say he's well past 100, but you get what I mean. Like, it'll be like FOURTHOUSAND. No, I follow count, and then every now and then, which is like, he did it, which is so fucking stupid that you get like a slight happiness from it. But every now and then, count, he'll after like however many tweets of numbers, he'll do one where he counts up and then put
That's fantastic.
Oh shit! Do you follow count?
I thought I did. I when I found out about it, I'm pretty sure I clicked follow. I haven't seen a lot of his tweets, but you know how Twitter is when it comes to filling your timeline with shit it thinks you might like, just because you clicked on another tweet once.
Yeah, that's like on Netflix when they say, "What movies do you like?" It's a trap. Because the second you tell Netflix what movies you like, you're going to get recommended a whole lot of movies that you don't fucking like. Since you like so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, you might like this. And it's like, bitch, no, I'm not going to watch this.
Because you like Yu Yu Hakusho, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. What? No! How did you come to that conclusion?
That's basically how
animated, ain't they?
Right, it's a cartoon with a superpowered protagonist and bitch. I don't want to see that shit. The fuck? Oh man. Speaking of movies, I recently watched I watched it Tuesday, which is what
Yeah.
the fuck is
Yeah.
that? What? You just randomly started singing "Yeah" from Lil Jon and Usher and
Yeah.
the fuck made you? The fuck made you randomly go there?
You said yeah.
And then I said Tuesday I watched the movie and I moved on.
No,
You
you're just
you
like
were
yeah.
reacting
And I was
like
like yeah.
you reacted like 2-3 sentences too late.
No, I didn't. You saw a movie, you did it. So yeah, and I was like yeah, yeah. In the club with my homies. What is this?
That's what I was doing. I was tapping my finger like, yeah, like, are you serious? Anyway, you had to see my finger tap. Anyway, okay. Speaking of movies, I was off Tuesday and saw, because that was supposed to be my only off day this week before, traumatic events and whatnot. But I saw that movie Bullet Train. You heard that movie?
You tweeted about it.
Yeah. And I know you saw my tweet because you liked it, yeah. But had you heard of it before I tweeted? This is the movie with starring Brad Pitt. And he's on a bullet train.
Heard of would be about to the barest minimum and definition of the term heard of. Yeah. I had heard there was a movie called Bullet Train.
Okay.
That's all I knew is, hey, there's a movie called Bullet Train, and it's probably an action movie.
It was.
Yeah.
I liked it, right? And I didn't like, oh my God, this is the best movie ever. Ah! No, it wasn't good. But as somebody whose hobby is going to the theater, seeing the latest movie, because anybody else, I would say I would recommend watch the movie whenever it comes out on streaming or on DVD or whatever. Watch the movie on a day where you got time to waste. Cut on Bullet Train, why not, right? So I saw it, and per my tweet, I said movies like Bullet Train are fucking needed, man. And I've been saying, and I put in my tweet where I was like, excuse me, I put in my tweet that movies like Bullet Train are needed because not everything has to be Inception. Not everything has to be Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, Schindler's List. Yeah. Sometimes you need a mindless, time-wasting action movie, dude. You say it all the time, honestly. So I know you agree.
Yes. Yes, I do, Jazz.
Why are you...
I agree. No, I agree. That's why I was just laughing because we bring it up all the time that I say that about movies. I'm like, yeah, I say that all the time. So I'm agreeing with you. That's all.
Okay. It seemed like you had another. Seemed like there was a little more underlying behind that. But anyway, I'm fucking with you. No. No, man. I saw the movie, and basically Brad Pitt is on a bullet train in Japan. And he's like a hitman, but like a stealthy hitman. So he doesn't really like to necessarily kill people. He's more of like a spy, not a hitman.
Gotcha.
Basically. And basically the thing is like, there's this briefcase. He wants to get the briefcase, but he has to get it from these actual hitmen. And these motherfuckers really go in and kill people. And that was played by Aaron Taylor Johnson of Kick-Ass, from the Kick-Ass stuff, who actually played an American, but is really fucking British. And then Brian Tyree Henry, who is the main character, Paperboy on Atlanta, who is American, but played a Brit in this movie. So, yeah. And his accent was really good. But the movie in and of itself, it was mistaken identity. It was kind of farcical. Farce is like mistaken identity. Everybody running different doors, losing people, shit like that. It was a little bit of mistaken identity. It was a little bit of like we keep missing each other. They did it, where they did the whole putting the character names on the screens, like the father, Ladybug, the elder, Lemon Tangerine, like introducing people in that way.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought it was cool that you had an American accent, a British accent, and a Japanese accent on camera at the same time. I thought they did the use of a lot of Chekhov's guns in the sense of like they introduce something, but then before the movie's over, they wrap up loose ends and they call it back and shit. But like I said, like you say it all the time. I always agree with you, but I tweeted for a reason. I act like I act for movies like a Shawshank Redemption just as much as I act for movies like a Bullet Train. Everything don't have to be we're trying to get a fucking Oscar. Sometimes you just want to make somebody have a good time, goddammit, and have a good time your damn self. Like, it ain't gotta be, let's change the world with everything that we do artistically. Sometimes it's like, let's make somebody smile. So
Yeah. Just thought of an idea. Trying to do a Chekhov's gun
okay,
mixed with like a Schrodinger's situation. So kind of like a Schrodinger's Chekhov's gun.
I'm very interested as to what the hell this is.
So that's what I'm trying to see. So obviously with the Chekhov's gun, you have to set up the gun in the first act somewhere on the screen or stage, and it has to be used later. Like if you see the fucking gun early, later that has to come into play.
Right.
Now, first I was thinking of a thing where I purposely break that rule, where I just put the fucking gun there. You think it's a Chekhov's gun, and then and it never comes into play.
What is that? What is that called? Like a mulligan or some shit?
Kind of, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like that. No, not MacGuffin. That's
MacGuffin.
different.
I think it's MacGuffin. I think it's MacGuffin.
No, red herring.
Well, no, I was going to say red herring. The thing about red herring is usually only used when it comes to whodunits, like murder mystery type shit.
Gotcha.
So red herring is right, but red herring is only appropriate if we're talking about murder mysteries more so.
Gotcha. No, MacGuffin though is an object that you do focus on. It's the object that like drives the story.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, red herring, like I said, I was thinking red herring.
Yeah, yeah.
So red herring might be more appropriate, like than anything. Yeah. Okay.
But at the same time, it wouldn't even have to be, because why? It's only if you're one of those. Haha, that's a Chekhov's gun. Literally. All right, I'm paying attention to that. It's only to catch motherfuckers like that. Only for it to not happen and just troll people. But then I started thinking, what if I leave it ambiguous about whether it was used or not? Where you get the Schrodinger's thing, Schrodinger's Chekhov's gun. And I was trying to think of a way to do that where, I don't know, let's say you have a gun in a house, in an obvious enough Chekhovian situation. And somewhere near the end of the movie or post-climax of the movie, there's like, let's say like a home invader, right? Who clearly has a gun in their hand.
Yeah, okay.
Breaking into the house like at night. Camera stays outside. You hear the gunshot.
Okay, a lot of movies do something like that.
Credits. You don't know who shot who, but you only heard one gun go off. did the Chekhov gun get used, or did the person living there get killed by the murderer? Because we never see inside. It's that. But no, but you would think, movies do stuff like that, but generally when they do that, there's not, did the main character die, unless they're doing like a sequel or something like that. Usually it's implied that the only person with the gun is this home invader. So based on your normal watching of movies, you would just be like, oh, we just killed that character. You know, sad thing. However, if you were paying attention earlier, because the characters never, because it never comes into play in the story, if you pay attention to the Chekhov's gun, you could be like, but wait, the home invader could have got shot and it's a happy ending. Because they had that gun in there. And you only hear the one gunshot and the one body falling. It's like, because we never show you inside the house, simultaneously, they have both been shot. One's alive and they're both, one alive and one dead. Schrodinger's Chekhov's gun.
The only way I could see somebody...
or something like that.
One thing, the only way I could see somebody watching like the scenario that you painted, the only way I could see somebody watching that and assuming that it could have gone both ways is if we established that the homeowner had a gun too. Because if you don't establish the homeowner had a gun, then people aren't probably going to assume the homeowner.
If we don't establish he had a gun, then it wouldn't be a Chekhov's gun.
No, you established the home invader had a gun. You didn't.
No, I said earlier there's a gun in the set inside the house.
Oh, okay.
To be the Chekhov.
I got you.
But no, because I was going with my fake out idea at first of having a Chekhov's gun that's not actually a Chekhov's gun, and then that. But also, someone could take that concept and make it work in a more similar sense. That's just a basic concept. Like, I'm not a writer enough to make an actual verbatim scenario how that would be perfect, but just something similar in that vein where simultaneously the Chekhov's gun could have or could not have been used.
Like I say, not to like kill what you said, because no, I see what you're saying. I like it. But I was saying, no, movies do that sometimes, like with ambiguous endings, like did the top stop spinning at the end of Pulp Fiction? Pulp Fiction. At the end of Pulp Fiction. At the end of Inception. Oh my God.
No, and I hear you, and I agreed that there are ambiguous endings, but there's also, because fucking X-Men 2, when Magneto's at the park with the chess set, after losing his powers, and Charles leaves him there, he's like, how's it feel to be human, jackass? And then walks away, and Magneto looks at the metal pieces.
Oh yeah, and it like wiggles. Yeah.
And it looks like the piece might wiggle, and movie ends. Yeah. So that happens, but those are generally plot points that, like, the top isn't a Chekhov's gun in Inception.
That would probably be more of a MacGuffin.
That thing is, the plot really talk. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. And Magneto having powers or not having powers is a big part of the climax of that movie. And him he fucking takes the fucking Golden State Bridge apart. Oh no, I'm sorry, I said X-Men 2. It's X-Men 3 Last Stand. Anyway.
I knew what movie you were talking about. I didn't know the number, but I knew what you were talking about.
Because when I started talking about the Golden Gate Bridge, I'm like, that wasn't X2.
Where he picked it up and like moved it over.
Yeah, so Magneto having powers definitely wasn't really a Chekhov's gun. It was Chekhov's fucking bazooka. And here it is.
Chekhov's RPG.
So that's why I said it like that. Like, where it's only if you take the, like, let's say you rewatch it and you see, oh shit, they said that. Because sometimes with Chekhov's guns, you don't necessarily notice it your first time, even if they do bring it up later.
Oh yeah.
And you see it on a rewatch, you're like, holy shit, they set that up in the first act. So the first time you watch the movie, because we don't draw too much attention to it, because it's a fake out of a Chekhov gun, you may think that you just see the home invader going in there. But if you did notice it, or especially on a rewatch, you're like, wait a minute, There's a big ass like shotgun right the fuck there.
Well, let me ask you this then. In the scenario that you are kind of painting,
That's still not to say someone hasn't done it. There's been like more movies than I have hairs on my body.
well, yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for the sake of conversation, in the scenario that you painted just now, do you make it obvious that there's a gun on the mantle, or do you just kind of let the camera pan and show it, or do you like highlight? Hey,
I don't know. Whatever qualifies enough to be a Chekhov's gun, that's not a Chekhov's gun.
I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. I definitely get it. But the way that came, the way that sentence was phrased, it made sense. But on surface level, it's like, wait, what? That's like saying whatever qualifies for soda, as long as it's not soda. Like, what the fuck?
I'm not enough of a writer to know the mechanics of how much a time you have to put on a Chekhov's gun for it to qualify. But probably the bare minimum amount of attention, because I want them to slightly forget about it, because I want them to jump to the first conclusion, and then the people that look too deep into shit, the detail people, for them to be like, wait a minute, this could be this. And then it's like, what? You got your fucking theories out there and people just talking about shit and just have the argument of, no, he shot him because he had the gun on the fucking mantle with the thing. And it's like, nah, that dude, he got the drop on him. They ain't touched that gun all movie. Why would they do that? No, man, it's a tragic movie. It's a better movie if the home invader does kill him, because the good guy dies in the end. And that makes it a better movie every fucking time if you ask people that talk about, like, objective story writing. And
20 people.
And other people are like, well, damn it, I want to be happy. And I say the good guy won. Who's right? And then they ask me, and I'm like...
20-something years down the road, some random person today is going to, like, randomly stumble upon two black dudes having a conversation, like, about some random shit, with a conversation that literally leads anywhere. And somebody gonna stumble upon this shit, and in within the next 20-some years, make a movie about some blue collar working dude who gets trapped under his car, saved by like 6 strangers, and then somebody invades his home, and then it's like, oh damn, he had a gun on the mantle. Oh shit, did he use it or not? And it's gonna be one of the best sellers, and neither one of us gonna get credit for that shit. Somebody gonna steal this idea like a motherfucker, man.
That's okay. We'll find out about it and then eventually like sue them and then be like, haha, you took this thing. Like the guys that sued Zeppelin for Stairway to Heaven because of that do 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 at the beginning was technically just that little riff of that was in a song that group had made shortly before.
And they were much lesser known band.
Yeah. And now granted, both songs I don't know. I've only heard the song that sued them once, just to hear like the 2 seconds that they're claiming Led Zeppelin took, because they are different songs overall.
Right.
Led Zeppelin kind of takes that thing and then makes its own song, whereas that was just a small part of some other song. But they're like, it's the iconic riff of Stairway to Heaven. So they're like, we came up with that.
that shit happens all the time in music, where people steal, because you stealing lyrics and shit is like outright like obvious, because I wrote this, but when people write melodies, they genuinely write melodies, because not every melody is created equal. So they genuinely write that shit. And people write that shit, and that happens all the time. Like when This Is America by Childish Gambino came out, I cannot think of the song or the guy, but some dude was saying that Donald Glover, kind of ripped his song off. And I was like, like everybody who I knew, including myself, was like, well, a lot of songs sound similar. You play the song, like content different. What are you talking about different? The fucking shit sounded the same. So it was like, the beat and everything, like whatever the shit is, like, oh, holy shit. There's some song by Dua Lipa called Levitating. I'm levitating, whatever the fuck. But it's like some underground like band that is kind of popish or whatever. They had some shit they sued her. You listen to the song, it sounded kind of similar. Like we know about what is it, Huey Lewis in the News and the Ghostbusters theme song.
Who sued who?
I think I forget who sued who. Because it was some black dude that did the theme song. I forget his name.
Yeah, Ray Parker was Ghostbusters.
That was his name, yeah. Ray Parker Jr., yeah. And Huey Lewis in the News, I forget Huey Lewis's song, but those songs sounded very similar. I forget who sued who. I want to say Ray Parker sued Huey Lewis.
Okay.
But that shit happens all the time where it's like a lesser known like artist ends up suing a bigger artist, and the bigger artist like kind of, for lack of a better term, got very inspired by the person. They were like, hey, why not?
Speaking of Ghostbusters and music and that song, and people sampling from other people and stuff. There's a guy who, internet celebrity, and I mean that in the sense that you probably only know him if you're, on the internet a lot. From back when Newgrounds was a thing. He used to make his own little like comedy songs and stuff, like the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny and shit like that. That's a popular meme video. He went by Lemon Demon back then, but he eventually started going by his actual name, Neil Cicierga. And he was one of the early YouTubers and stuff too. Had like a meme thing, Potter Puppet Pals or whatever. Where it's puppets doing funny Harry Potter skits. And eventually he decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back to music, but I'm gonna be a mashup guy. And also work some memes into some stuff. Be a comical mashup guy. And he had a song called Bustin', which is just the parody of the Ghostbusters theme. And, it just, had to start up. It's like, if there's something strange sleeping in your bed, shit like that. But the chorus pretty much is like, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good. Bustin', bustin'. And the whole song's a fucking masturbation joke, but it's hilarious.
Bustin' makes me feel good from the Ghostbusters cartoon show.
And the actual song.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, near the climb, like in the bridge and stuff. There's a part where he's like, "Bustin' makes me feel good." He only says it once in the actual thing, but that guy takes it and pretty much builds his song around that line. Just "Bustin' makes me feel good," and the video with it's hilarious, and it's just funny things he did, just taking them and rearranging the words with the vocals that are there, and it's hilarious. People should check it out.
Oh, I thought you had more too.
He has other shit too that's really cool. I liked his Wild West parody thing. That was a good one too. He has one where he mixes Smooth Criminal with 1 Week.
1 week.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Boom, boom, boom. And then also mix it, and he calls the song Smooth, and then later in the song, he works the Carlos Santana song Smooth into it. And I'm like, damn, this guy took some time into.
That's not Carl. That's
And it's just like the ocean
under the moon. That's Maria.
It's the same as the emotion that I get from you. That song. Was that one of the songs that when we did karaoke, I did it and you like grabbed a chick from the crowd and started dancing with?
I was actually about to say yeah. Some random I used to. So.
And you say you're not extroverted.
It's so
you
funny.
You didn't even know that chick. I don't think.
Hell no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
I never saw her again. So for y'all watching, and when I say we, I mean me, Pete, my big brother Ibn, and my best friend, one of the best friend, rest in peace, Asa. The four of us used to go to karaoke at this local bar in town every Tuesday, to where I met some friends that I still have to this day. Back in 2011, one of my friends actually, Camille's featured on one of my songs on my album, because he's an amazing fucking singer. But no, he didn't meet her from the album. Everybody, he met her from karaoke. That's what it sounded like.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, but the four of us, we used to go to, like I said, karaoke at a local bar about 2011. And we went there for, I want to say, about 2 years or so. I started going first.
About 2 years. I was only there from like 2010 to 2011.
I started going first. I started going because I used to work at Walgreens when I was about 18, 19. I used to work at Walgreens, and I had to get off at 11. I used to not want to go home right away, so I would go over to Applebee's, which was right across the street. That isn't there anymore. But I used to go to Applebee's that was right across the street from where I worked. And they stayed open for like another hour, some nights, 2 hours. So I'd be like, let me go over here. If the kitchen open, I'll get some food. But if I get some drink, either way, I just don't want to go home right away. I just don't, I'm out. My head, I'm up. I want to, just be out. So I would go, and I started going there enough. And Applebee's would do karaoke on like random nights, but it wasn't the best setting to try and do karaoke at an Applebee's. I see what they were trying to do, but it was like, eh. So me and this one dude ended up becoming like kind of friends and stuff. And we still would be friends on Facebook if my shit didn't get hacked. But we ended up becoming friends and shit. And we started talking. He was like, yeah, actually, we started talking about how the karaoke Applebee's like could have been better, this is that. And he was like, yeah, that's why actually I go to karaoke over here, this other place, which was like behind that Applebee's in the strip mall. And he's like, I go over here. And he knew like everybody there for real, but I didn't really know everybody there, obviously. But I knew him because we kind of, started being cordial and shit. And he was like, come here and do karaoke. And I wowed everybody instantly. Only black dude in the whole fucking place. Only black dude in the whole place. I still wear this shit to this day. I'm wearing my light blue shirt that I wore because I worked at Walgreens, and my fucking khaki pants. The first time I went in there and I actually did a song. Didn't know anybody, so I kind of sat up to the side. Didn't really talk to nobody and shit, except maybe the guy that I knew. Only black dude, no place, didn't really talk to nobody. Go up there, fucking, because of the fact that I listen to all kind of music, killing in the name of, by fucking Rage Against the Machine. Lost my fucking mind. I remember this one dude, I don't drink, but I remember this one dude was like, dude, you got me so hyped. I want to buy you a shot. Oh, man. And then over time, I went there enough, did shit, started talking to people, became friends with people. This one girl, like, to this day, this one girl was like, yo, come on, you could come sit with us. And that was like the first integration of me sitting with the group that the Applebee's guy was already kind of ingrained in. But it was probably like 10 of them. Sometimes they'd bring a few extras, so it was like 15 of them, shit like that. And it's like, yeah, come on, sit with us, whatever. And I forget who I started bringing first out of the four of y'all. I think it was Ibn. Then it was you. Then it was Asa.
Probably.
I think so. You weren't the first though, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think I started bringing my brother. Then I brought you, and then I brought Asa. And I say to this day, the four of us, when we started going there enough, we became the life of that place. Like we were the life of the party on so many occasions. We had so much fucking fun in that place. Those are some of my fond memories. Like I said, I'm still friends. I'm really good friends with 3 of the women from there to this day.
Nice.
Like really good friends with them still. But I mean, I'm like acquaintance, if not friends, with all of them.
Yeah.
I seen the original girl who like invited me over to kind of get to know me and be like, hey, don't sit by yourself. She's got like fucking husband and like 3 kids and shit. I've run into her in like Walmart before and shit, and you know it's always like love whenever I see her and everything. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
I would say, but what Pete is talking about is when I got comfortable in that bitch, and I used to do so many times, I would walk up to random people sitting down and just like, it'd be like 2, 3 people talking, and I would just plop in their booth. Hey, so what's up with y'all? What y'all doing today? Okay, so I'm about to do this song. I need y'all to get hyped. Like, I used to do shit like that. And like, he was doing a song one time, and this random girl,
Smooth by Santana.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. I thought you were talking about me. Excuse me.
I mean, yeah.
No,
that's why you bear watching. That's actually why you bear watching. So you can't even say nothing.
Anyway, so he was doing the song Smooth, and there's some girl that I like previously tried to talk to. I don't know if I tried to hit on her. Tried to do something like we talked or spoke or whatever the fuck earlier that night. So when he started doing that song, she was sitting with her friends, and I just stuck my hand out without even saying nothing and grabbed her and just ran started dancing and shit. I did that shit several times. I did random duets with motherfuckers that I had like never met several times in that bitch. You know, just all kind of shit, men and women. Yeah. It was fun.
That was probably the last year of me doing, or period of time of me doing karaoke frequently on Tuesdays. However, before that, for at least a year, I want to say, if not longer or shorter, maybe almost a year. It felt like a fucking year. It's a year in my memories. There was a place down here called, well, first it was like the Globe Bar off of Orange, but then it got moved to a bar called One-Eyed Jack's. There was a guy who was a DJ who had an idea for karaoke where he could have his normal karaoke machine, but right alongside it, he had a PlayStation 3 set up with Rock Band.
Yeah, you talk about that. Yeah.
So he had the Rock Band karaoke, and myself, I believe I've referred to this friend as Abe, Jeffrey, or Jeff, and X. The like 4 of us would go every week as this group called the Velocifalcons, and we eventually became like the regular guests that everybody liked. Freaking Jeff would dress up looking like Liquid Snake when he went there. If you ever played Metal Gear Solid 1, he had like the trench coat, he had the long blonde hair and everything anyway. He even, due to an accident, had like an injury on his arm, so he could just always try and reference something from Metal Gear Solid 2 about Liquid Snake in an arm. If you know Metal Gear Solid, you know what I'm talking about. I had a trench coat on as well because I was going to be on stage. I might as well look similar. Had like a trench coat, a top hat, and a fucking Jabberwockies mask. Not necessarily exactly like the Jabberwockies, but kind of like that. If I was playing, if I wasn't singing, it was on. If I was singing, I would have the mask like on the back of my head, so I could like talk. Cause like, that wouldn't have worked. But if I was singing, I would just have the sunglasses on and stuff and talk. If I was playing bass for whatever song, because then I mean playing bass with Rock Band, so the fake instruments, people I can't play real instruments. But If I was doing bass, then I had the mask on, because I look like a character. If I'm gonna be on stage, I'm gonna be on stage. I had a stage persona. I wasn't Omari. I was feogrande.
A trench coat with a Jabberwocky's mask. So they like about to rob the place.
Well, when I got to the place, I would have the mask off so they can see me and stuff. But when I went in and stuff, and once, especially once it became known that I go on stage to do it, and pretty much only when I go on stage would I wear the mask on my face, because...
Right, no, of course I am fucking kidding. I'm just saying.
I had a cowboy hat and would do drums for the majority of the time, and X would be X and be there, but he was cool too. Eventually Fluffles came for a few weeks, and that was fun. He would rotate out on some songs and stuff. But we would do that for about a year for Corn Dog's Karaoke, and just week after week, and the guy loved us. Corn Dog loved us. It's like, the boys, the Melassa Falcons, let's go! Blah, 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 blah. Like, POG, and so. Sometimes two of us would go on stage, and we had little names for us based off of random shit for when it's not the whole group. My solo name for if I was doing regular karaoke, like I said, was Feog. The G stands for grande.
Really?
Hey, sometimes people just have a G and you don't know what it stands for.
But I mean, on this particular show, I think we know what the G stands for.
I'm just saying. The G stands for grande. Anyway, so that was fun. We did it for a long time until I moved back up to St. Louis, which is when I stopped. And by the time I came back, they had stopped going because rock bands started being less and less cool.
Yeah, it's not as popular as it used to be. What was I gonna say? But no, like I said, some of my funnest memories around my early 20s were, doing. I remember sometimes me and you would be like, okay, we're gonna do this song when we started going to karaoke live. We'd be like, we're gonna do this song with karaoke, and
we did a Linkin Park song every week.
Yeah, and we would rehearse it up to a point, like not like
there were a couple times,
but we would go over this and be like, okay, you come in this way, you say this, I'm gonna do that, and I have honestly thought about this, right? Because I performed on stage musically, a decent amount of times now, right? And I've honestly thought, damn, before I really got acclimated and comfortable being on stage, rapping and performing music and shit, I was like, damn, that was kind of practice for me. Because I used to go up there and I used to, you have fun and whatever, but I would kind of treat that shit kind of seriously. Make this a fucking performance, goddammit.
Oh, yeah. No, I took it seriously too. I remember being when I was doing, what was it, Michael Bublé's Feeling Good. I was like, I don't know, should I do this? I've been trying all day. I'm worried about this line. It's fucking karaoke. Yeah. Nobody gives a fucking shit because 90% of the people who go up there are drunk off their ass.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to sound bad. If you sound good, cool. But you're not necessarily supposed to. But we were taking that shit seriously.
Like I said, two of my friends from karaoke that I'm still friends with now, they told me at one point they did karaoke. Speaking of getting drunk off your ass, what they say, they said they did fucking karaoke one time. I remember they told me a story, and they said they got so fucked up to the point where they couldn't even read the words on the screen. But I mean, that's karaoke though. That's the point. But no, and I thought about that, and I was like, damn, that was kind of practice for me for when I finally got the gumption and then confidence and then comfortable on stage. But I started when I used to do karaoke in this case, because all of us would go there and put on a show, but I used to go there and lose my fucking mind. So, I mean, I used to do Rage Against the Machine.
No, that was his. He was the closer. He was the headline act. He would close it. You did. No, rather that is what happened though. You would always end it with "Kill It in the Name of." They're like, all right, before we go home, of course, we gotta have it. Y'all
Damn, I didn't
already
even
know
think about
I'm
that.
gonna get hype.
But sometimes, no, you're right. Sometimes the DJ would kind of end with me. Damn, you're right.
Yeah, no, you were the closer, the headline act. See, people keep saying I say shit just to put myself down. No, I don't bump you up to put myself down. I bump you up because you deserve that shit.
Well, thank you. But no, y'all, when I say like I used to lose my mind, first off, listen to my album. Or check out the video. I got a song called I Tried where I'm screaming. So I'm perfecting it, but I have no problem screaming, when in a song that requires it. So I scream my motherfucking head off. I would purposely wear a tank top underneath my shirt so I could take my shirt off. I would stand on chairs. I would fucking get on the ground. I would do all kind of shit. I would lose my fucking mind on stage.
Are both of your songs with like a young female singer doing the chorus? Female. Are they both screaming things?
Got rock rap.
Yeah, is there one that doesn't?
Yeah, Lee Roberts and Camille Moroff. Yeah, both of them. I jokingly said one time that when it comes to me making that music, I was like, I need an AWF. What's an AWF? An attractive white female. Because both my songs with my two of my white female friends. Yeah.
They lead to you just screaming.
The metal scream. Well, my mom was listening to it one time, right before my Secret Identity was finished, and I think I Tried was basically done, and I was like letting her hear it. And my mom, she's like, "That's a white girl," and I was like, "It's a rock song called A White Girl." being joking, of course, y'all. Come on, joking.
Yeah.
But no.
Sometimes I'll think about the chorus that I tried and just follow it up with "Goku Ain't Got Shit on Me." Like, it reminds me of it probably because of that situation. Because those are the two songs that are like that. Also, I also just love the "Goku Ain't Got Shit on Me" part of that song.
That song is an experience. I think that my delivery is much, much better.
Yes.
And more confident. Thank you. Than in my ultimate form. But that song is an experience. Anyway. If you ain't got friends to hype you up like this, you ain't got friends. All that being said, speaking of friends or being friendly, if you would like to be at least friendly, maybe not friends, but friendly with us, first off, before I even talk about where to find us on the social medias and whatnot, it was brought to my attention from Bob the Tomato or whatever, that apparently we didn't got shadow banned or some type of whatever on whatever we want. And whenever you type in whatever we want on YouTube, I don't know what's up. So I hate to be this dude, but hit the notification bell if you really want to see our shit. Because I don't know what's happening to our shit being for me. I hate to say that, but now I see why everybody says that shit. So hit the notification bell if you really want your whatever we want podcast every Wednesday, 10 Central, 11 Eastern. All that being said, if you want to find me on my social media, you can go ahead and check me out at, oh shit, shit, mouthful of spit. You can go ahead and check me out anywhere you stream your music. As alluded to in the episode, yes, I am a rapper. I get my rap on from time to time. My debut solo album was released about a year ago. My Secret Identity. So anywhere you stream your music, go ahead and type in Superjaz, which is spelled Superjaz. And like I said, you can find My Secret Identity, which was the album. You may have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, because I'm not so famous yet. Also, if you want to go ahead and find and follow me on Twitter, you can go ahead and look me up under the name Superjaz2, which would be Superjaz number 2. And of course, if you want to, you can find me on Instagram under the handle Forever Superjaz. The word forever is, of course, spelled correctly. Where can they find you?
Well, first off, you can find me here every week, every Wednesday. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube under feogrande. That is Feo Grande. I've got some videos up there over my own. Also, a series called This Guy Hasn't Seen, where me and my good friend Bill Smith, we talk about various pieces of pop culture that one or the other hasn't seen. And this week, I believe, is How to Train Your Dragon. So that should be fun. And we got other stuff down the line with that. I also have stuff over there with Superjaz, where we talk about Dragon Ball Z movies, even the mindless action ones that he doesn't like. We're going to talk about... And then I also have a Twitter and Twitch as Geotabi.
That's why you were laughing when you said that shit earlier.
Come on in. Stop on by. Yeah, that's my Twitter and Twitch, Geotabi.
Oh, that's why you was laughing. I was like, there was something more to that laugh than just ha ha ha. I normally say that. No, it was some. You like that, do you? Yeah, you little smug motherfucker. Anyway, all that being said, on some real shit, y'all. What I said in the first 10 to 15 minutes of this episode is not a lie. That shit really happened. None like traumatic events to get you contemplating and thinking and whatnot. But on some real shit, one thing that I've said within the last few years that I always kind of thought, but I guess I just actually kind of coined, so to speak, a term was you can get really far in life by not being an asshole. Think about that shit a lot. You can get really far in life by not being an asshole. And I told my dad what happened, and he was like, yeah, man. He said, that's just good karma paying you back. You put out enough good karma, and because if that shit had happened where I was somewhere that wasn't heavily populated, who knows what the fuck would happen.
Yeah.
So all that being said, obviously I say this shit to you all the time, Pete, Omari. I say this shit all the time and have said this shit to you forever. But I will say this to you now. You know I love you.
Yes, sir.
You know I do.
Same, buddy.
And yeah. What we gonna talk about next time?
Whatever we want.
Seriously, be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adiosness. The G is for grande.